July 31, 1944, Balabac Strait. A narrow, unforgiving stretch of water between Borneo and the Philippines. The sun is still high, burning through a haze of tropical humidity when the sea begins to shake. 300 feet below the surface, sealed inside a steel cylinder barely wider than a city bus, Commander Lawson Ramage is running out of time. The math is already against him. Above his submarine, Japanese destroyers are moving in disciplined grids, their screws churning the water like hunting dogs circling wounded prey. Depth charges roll off their sterns and fall silently, then detonate with a violence that crushes the ocean itself. The pressure outside is over 130 pounds per square inch. Inside, light bulbs flicker. Cork insulation rains down from the ceiling. The hull groans, not loudly, but constantly, like an animal under strain. USS Parch is trapped. Her batteries are down to 18%. Her oxygen will last perhaps 90 minutes. And the sonar operator's voice keeps returning with the same number. 17. 17 enemy ships directly above them. Tankers, freighters, and 4 destroyers whose only purpose now is to kill everyone aboard this submarine. In this situation, submarine doctrine is clear. Hide. Go deep. Survive. Ramage does not do that. Instead, he orders something no American submarine commander has ever attempted under these conditions. He orders the boat to surface. In daylight. In the middle of the convoy. Not to escape, but to attack. To understand why Lawson Ramage makes this decision, you have to understand how he thinks. And that story does not begin in war. It begins in Monroe Bridge, Massachusetts, in 1909. Ramage is the son of a Spanish-American War veteran raised near water, curiosity pulling at him from the start. At 7 years old, he steals scrap lumber, builds a crude raft, and launches himself into the river without telling anyone. He disappears for hours. When his father finally finds him downstream and demands an explanation, the boy answers simply, "I wanted to see what was around the bend." That instinct never leaves him. June 1927. The United States Naval Academy, Annapolis. Ramage does not look like a future legend. He is average in height, quiet, easily overlooked. But during a summer cruise aboard USS Arkansas, a fire breaks out deep inside the ship. Smoke fills the passageways. Midshipmen are ordered topside. Ramage goes the other way. He drags 2 unconscious sailors from the engine spaces, then returns below to help seal bulkhead doors. When questioned afterward about disobeying orders, his answer is calm. "I believed the order was incomplete, sir." He graduates near the bottom of his class, but his fitness report contains one sentence that will follow him for the rest of his career. Does not panic, does not follow. By 1935, Ramage is a lieutenant stationed at Pearl Harbor aboard a destroyer. During a night exercise, another ship loses power and begins drifting toward a reef in heavy seas. The captain orders all ships to hold position. Too dangerous to approach. Ramage is officer of the deck. He ignores the order. He closes to within 50 yards in darkness and fires a tow line using a rifle launched grappling hook. Something he designed himself weeks earlier. The drifting destroyer is pulled clear. He saves the ship. He is formally reprimanded and quietly recommended for submarine duty. The note attached reads, "Ramage treats orders as suggestions and physics as negotiable." By January 1942, Ramage finishes submarine school ranked second in his class. He serves as executive officer aboard USS Grenadier, where his reputation hardens. He argues for closer approaches, shorter ranges, higher certainty. During a patrol in the South China Sea, he convinces his captain to close to within 800 yards of a Japanese troop transport, so close the destroyer's screen cannot depress its guns. 3 torpedoes hit. The transport sinks in 6 minutes. The patrol report is blunt. Aggressive instinct balanced by mathematical precision. He is recommended for command immediately. By mid-1944, Commander Lawson Ramage is in charge of USS Parche, a new Gato-class submarine fitted with experimental radar and crewed by men chosen for aggression rather than caution. Other submarine commanders avoid heavily escorted convoys. Ramage hunts them. The Navy's doctrine says, maintain distance. Maximize survival. Ramage's doctrine is handwritten on a note card in his cabin. Close until you can see their faces. Leave when the torpedoes are gone. July 30th, 1944. Intelligence reports a major Japanese convoy assembling near Balabac Strait. 17 ships, 4 destroyers. Tankers carrying aviation fuel for air bases in the Philippines. High value. Heavy protection. Every submarine in the region is ordered to intercept. Parche arrives first. At 2:47 p.m., radar picks up multiple contacts 2,000 yards to the west. Ramage climbs to the bridge, binoculars in hand. He counts carefully. 17 ships, 3 merchant columns, 4 destroyers running disciplined picket patterns. If he attacks submerged from standard range, he might get 2 shots before being driven deep. 2 torpedoes. Against 17 ships? Unacceptable. He studies the formation for 30 seconds. Then he says it. We're going to surface inside the convoy and shoot until we're empty. There is silence. Then a torpedoman asks the obvious question. Sir, what happens when they start shooting back? Ramage answers without hesitation. We dive, reload, and surface somewhere else. He asks for a vote. Every hand goes up. At 5:04 p.m., Parche breaks the surface barely 1,600 yards from a fully loaded tanker. Japanese sailors stare in disbelief. Submarines do not do this. Ramage does. Fire 1. Fire 2. Twin torpedoes strike the tanker. Aviation fuel erupts into the sky in towering orange fireballs. Seconds later, another freighter detonates, ammunition cooking off in a concussion that shakes nearby ships. Now the destroyers react. One charges directly toward Parche at flank speed. Ramage waits, calculates, fires. The torpedoes miss. He orders the dive just as deck guns begin to range them. Depth charges follow, 18 in 6 minutes, close enough to crack fittings and split seams. When the destroyers move off, Ramage is already plotting the next attack. For the next 8.5 hours, Parche surfaces, fires, dives, reloads, and surfaces again. Tankers explode. Freighters burn. A destroyer breaks in half under a perfect torpedo hit. Inside the submarine, temperatures climb past 100 degrees. Men vomit from stress and heat. Water is rationed. Benzedrine is passed out to keep them awake. Ramage never raises his voice. He is always calm, always calculating. By midnight, the sea is lit by burning fuel and sinking hulls. By dawn, 17 ships are gone. 5 tankers, 10 freighters, 2 destroyers, 78,000 tons, 1 submarine. When Parche reports the results, command sends a reply. Confirm. 17 seems unlikely. Do you mean 7? Ramage answers simply. Confirm 17. Review Japanese radio traffic. 3 hours later, the Japanese Navy issues emergency convoy rerouting orders across the South China Sea. They believe multiple submarines attacked. The truth is worse. It was one. On September 15, 1944, Admiral Chester Nimitz awards Lawson Ramage the Medal of Honor. When asked what he was thinking when he surfaced into the convoy, Ramage answers honestly. I was thinking we still had torpedoes left. Ramage serves until 1969. He retires quietly. Never boasts. Never explains. When he dies in 1990, his headstone lists only his name, rank, and dates. No mention of 17 ships. At the Naval Academy Museum, his Medal of Honor is displayed beside a small note card in his handwriting. 3 lines. Get close. Stay late. Leave when the torpedoes are gone. every submarine officer reads it, most remember it. Because sometimes history is not made by bravery alone. Sometimes it is made by someone who simply does the math and accepts the answer. If you loved this story and want more history that shocks, inspires, and motivates, subscribe to Rising Warfare, like this video, and explore the incredible tales we uncover. More amazing content is coming, and trust me, you don't want to miss it!